Okay, and good morning and welcome to the video live stream for the WSJM morning show for October 14th.
October 14th.
October 14th, almost midway through the month of October.
Fastly it's gone.
Christmas shopping? Christmas shopping? Have you got it started yet?
Not yet.
If you do it,
I'm pondering.
I found a fascinating news story in the pile this morning, and that's where it remains because the fascinating part was, if you start your Christmas shopping early, you're bound to save money, as opposed to doing it all in the last 48 hours before Christmas.
How much was that? A government grant to research that?
Right?
Is it the same people that try to figure out where their turtles cross the road?
Oh my goodness! Well, turtles, I mean, they do cross the road in certain places. You can build little speed humps for them.
Speed humps.
Yeah.
For turtles.
Anyway, good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. I've got Mike Weibel here. You had a good weekend. You watched some baseball. You watched some football. You saw some high school football upsets.
Yes, there was some exciting football this weekend.
Lakeshore
won a game.
Woof.
Beat Lakeview 38-12.
Are you sure you got that right?
I looked at it twice.
Okay.
St. Joe
All right.
lost.
What?
They lost to Mattawan.
Their perfect record is sullied?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
no.
Paw
Okay.
won 4-0. I don't know what quite. I guess
Four?
Four.
What, they get two safeties
must
or
be
something?
Two safeties.
Or maybe they got, can you get 1 point somehow?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So Three Rivers.
All right.
They beat Three Rivers. And then Bridgman, those angry little bees, beat Muskegon 52-0.
Jeez.
Yeah, they were in the hive or out of it.
Huh.
And then Berrien Springs 22-20 over Dogpatch.
Dowagiac.
Yeah.
Dowagiac. That's funny. All right. It's the WSJM morning show.
That's what I know. I don't know anymore.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, and obviously you pull for both St. Joe and Lakeshore.
Yes. Little
more for Lakeshore?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you used to wear the jersey.
I did.
All right.
Fly the colors. I have a red truck.
Do you really?
I do. I've always had red vehicles, and I never really thought the association until...
You just happen to have an affinity for red?
Yeah. I mean, but...
What color's your house?
It's not red. It's green, but I didn't pick it.
I saw Brett Witkowski's house last week for the first time live and in person.
You did?
Yes. Because he's been asking me for months to drive by.
Did you do a drive-by viewing, or did you actually stop?
He's near the Berrien County Administration Building, and I happened to be there for a news thing. And so coming out, I saw a house, and I thought, that looks vaguely familiar. Why does that look so familiar? And it looks familiar because I saw it on Facebook where Brett kept posting it saying, my house looks really nice. And then that was the connection. So I confirmed with Brett. I said, that's your house? And he's like, yeah, that's my house. I said, it looks very nice.
So when he worked for the county, he just would walk across the street.
He just walked across the street.
How very efficient.
He said there were positives and negatives to that. Because he obviously had a great commute, just walk right across the street. But then he also could never really take a day off or vacation at home.
Right.
Because people would be like, oh, we'll just go. Hey, Brett, as you're raking your leaves, can you sign this for us?
Can you come let me in?
Yeah. Give me your badge.
Right.
All right. We've got to get back for news. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Mike Weibel right over there. We will continue in just a moment.
Marching bands, dozens of floats, and live performances as the city pays homage to its Italian cultural roots.
A documentary that aired over the weekend in Spain points to a DNA study that now shows Columbus was not Italian, but born to a family of Jewish silk spinners in Spain. And making its debut in Dresden, Germany, a three-armed orchestra conductor. It's a robot, and its designers say it isn't supposed to replace human conductors. Instead, they say it's a demonstration of how to make complex music that would be impossible for a human to lead. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
For not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Meet Brian. He just got $5,000, and it was pretty easy. I'll tell you how in 10 seconds. Brian needed cash help. After being rejected by banks, he tried 27cash.com. Told them how much he needed, even let them know he had bad credit. In minutes, 27cash.com found a lender who deposited $5,000 into his bank account the very next day. If you need cash help, even if you have bad credit, go to 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. My co-host this morning is Mike Weibel. It's 7:05, and we have a lot of news to talk about. We'll talk about that in a moment. First, the weather forecast, though. The temperature outside is a 46 degrees, but it feels like of 35. I guess because of the wind, but the partly cloudy conditions are going to continue this afternoon, and we're going to probably see another rain shower or two because we have a 50% chance of lake effect rain showers continuing throughout the day. High of 35, north winds continuing 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting to 20. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, 60% chance of lake effect showers. And tonight they're saying away from Lake Michigan, there's a chance of frost. Yes. Around our area, probably going to see lows around 37 degrees. So the lake's going to keep us warm. Thank you, Lake.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow's forecast, Tuesday, it's going to be partly cloudy, 40% chance of lake effect rain showers, a high around 55. And on Tuesday, we're going to have the north winds continue 10 to 15 miles per hour and gusting to 25. My backyard, I don't know about yours, but my backyard, again, covered with leaves.
Yeah, especially
a lot of green leaves, too.
Yeah, with that wind last night, my driveway was just a mat of leaves.
Yeah, Tigers ended their season on Saturday with a loss against the Cleveland Guardians. It was a great run, and we are incredibly proud of the Tigers and the run that they had.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
It was great, and we will tune in for the first pitch of their next game, which will be next season.
Yes.
Next year.
We will be waiting
with bated breath. The Guardians advance after taking the 5-game series, the ALDS, 3-2 over the Tigers. Now the Guardians are taking on the Yankees, so let's hope they beat the tar out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah? You don't care anymore?
No, well, kind of no, but they just, they're just so well funded.
Oh, the Yankees. Yeah. Lions did great.
Man.
They beat up on Dallas.
Just played with them like a cat and a mouse.
47-9. We'll let you close enough to the end zone to get a field goal, but that's it.
You can look at it, but you can't
have it.
Right.
Yeah, you can. And some injuries there. We'll have the full sports report, serious injuries for the Lions. That's unfortunate.
Bad.
So we'll talk more about that with Dave Wolf. That's coming up in just a few minutes. But first off, our news from the WSJM newsroom. You may have noticed a lot of fires that we report in vacant buildings around Benton Harbor over the last several months. Just last week, an abandoned party store on North Fair and Edgecombe suffered severe damage in a fire that the Benton Harbor Department of Public Safety believes may have been intentionally set. That had been the case for a number of fires. In September, the former GG Grocery building at 861 Bus Avenue burned down. And in March, the former Morton Elementary School was damaged in a fire that the department also believes was intentionally set. They call it arson. This raises the question, are the fires connected? The Department of Public Safety Fire Services Deputy Director Brian Kazmierzak tells us no, they're not connected. Kazmierzak says the department has considered that question and they've looked at each incident with that in mind. Authorities say there's absolutely no connection, quote unquote, between the various fires as far as they can tell at this point. He says the department has gotten several tips on some of the fires and each has led to a potential different suspect. Kazmierzak says the investigations into the fires are ongoing and anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Benton Harbor Department of Public Safety. You might have noticed there's a lot of broadband work going on in Berrien County, and it's a mix of public and private efforts to bring broadband to our area more proliferate. Speaking to colleagues, Berrien County Commissioner Terry Freeling says Midwest Energy and Communications has been rolling out high-speed internet to communities all over the area thanks to a $27 million Robin grant that the county helped to secure.
I'm told that they're working fast and furious and they are ahead of schedule. And I don't want MEC or Midwest Energy and Communication to be confused with some of the other work that's happening within the county.
Freeling said providers like Surf Broadband, Comcast, and AT&T have also been installing broadband throughout Berrien County. Surf has been working in Bridgman, Watervliet, and Bainbridge Township, while Comcast has been laying new fiber in Bainbridge Township as well. To help people stay on top of all this, Freeling has some advice for the commissioners.
The best thing I can say is if you have any residents that reach out to you and say, hey, what's happening, or I have an issue, or I'm interested in the services, have them go to our website page, which is the BC Vet page. They can click on a lot of different links that will take them, one, to the service providers, two, that will tell them the construction update.
BC Bit is the county's broadband committee. Its webpage has a map of ongoing projects, and Freeling says the county's broadband consultant and the county IT department are working on an even more detailed map. Freeling told us in June that since MEC secured the state grant, it's built out more than 50 miles of fiber in Bertrand Township, and another 60 miles is coming to Galeen. Weesaw Township and Baroda will see similar projects. The overall Robin grant-funded broadband project is slated to be finished in 2026, while other providers continue to expand access throughout the county. And if you're feeling like it's time to get into the Halloween spirit, we have some good news for you this weekend. At Silver Beach, they're going to host their third annual Boo Bash.
Boo Bash.
The Boo Bash this Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. Guests can dress up in their costumes and enjoy the evening's fun. Visitors can take part in the Scarousel rides. Get it?
Scarousel.
The Scarousel. Take the Scarousel. They'll have hands-on exhibits, cookie decorating, and a cash bar. There will also be magic performances by John Dudley and photo opportunities with the Sanderson sisters, the witches from the movie Hocus Pocus.
Interesting.
I mean, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Admission tickets are $15 for those 3 and older. Wow. 3 and older.
3 and older.
You got to pay.
Man.
They know how much candy a 3-year-old can put away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to
They have
cost them.
teeth by then, and
It's like me in a buffet at a buffet when I was 20.
all you can eat buffet.
Yeah.
The Halloween Boo Bash will take place at 333 Broad Street in St. Joseph. For more information, you can contact the Silver Beach Center. We do have that story posted as well at WSJM.com. One further, if you're out there braving the elements and fishing and you happen to catch a fish with a tag on it, you ever done that?
Nope.
I have not done that either. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources says if you do, they want to know about it, whether it's a lake, a stream, or a river. DNR reminds fishermen to report any tagged fish they catch so researchers can learn more about fish survival, age, growth, and movement. DNR Lake Michigan Basin Coordinator Jay Wesley says the tags can appear in a number of areas on the fish itself.
It could be a jaw tag or an anchor tag that might have a number on it. And if you go to our Eyes in the Field, you can enter that tag number. And that'll help us out with research on these fish.
Can you imagine a jaw tag?
Yeah, I would.
How come the kids haven't picked this up yet? I mean, they're putting the little piercings everywhere else. Why don't they do a jaw tag?
See, now you brought that up. It's going to be a thing.
According to Wesley, the Michigan DNR started marking and tagging fish back in the 1990s for research purposes. For more information, you're advised to visit the DNR's website. One more, it is Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day, depending on how you believe. Since Columbus Day is still a federal holiday, here's what it means. Agencies operated by the federal government might be closed today. That's U.S. Postal Service as well will not be delivering mail or packages today.
Postal Service closed.
I did.
Bond market closed.
Stock market?
Open.
Okay. All right. So we'll have that fun on CNBC if we want to watch the stock market and its trials and tribulations. But the Postal Service, I saw them out yesterday. I can't figure out their hours. Working on Sundays.
Well, because they deliver for Amazon now on the weekends.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Oh.
A little extra pocket change. It's our side hustle.
Huh. I want to know more about that. Getting the right money there. All right. So check before you go. FedEx and UPS will still be delivering today.
Oh, yeah.
So they say. But some banks will be closed, and so it's best to check ahead before you go. It's 7:14. We've got more to talk about here on the WSJM Morning Show. Let's get to sports, and then Mike and I will be back. We're also on the video live stream. We'll start that conversation right now.
Sunday in the NFL, Lions quarterback Jared Goff had 315 yards passing and 3.
I want to know more about this, about U.S. Postal Service delivering for Amazon.
Yeah, that's why they're out on Saturdays and Sundays now, is because they're
doing Amazon stuff?
Yeah.
They're doing Amazon's bidding?
Yes.
So they must have gotten a contract somehow to do this.
Right. So that's why sometimes you get your Amazon packages in your mailbox. I mean, obviously you still have Amazon trucks that deliver to your door.
I have never received an Amazon package in my mailbox.
Really?
Not that I'm aware of.
I have quite often, actually.
You must have a big mailbox.
Well, not
Did
like
you check it for its?
Yeah.
Is it winter ready?
Oh yeah, it is. But not like a big pack, but like small boxes or those that can like fold up like I just
like a
bought.
big one of those air envelopes or
I just
whatever.
ordered a pair of jeans that was on sale 40% off, and it came in the mailbox
Okay.
because it folds up and shoves in there.
Hang on just a second here. We got to get back.
Down to around 40 degrees with off and on rain showers continuing. Away from the lakeshore, we'll see some upper 30s. And then for tomorrow, off and on rain showers again, highs at 55. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
All right, it's 46 degrees under partly cloudy skies, mostly cloudy, let's say. Mostly cloudy, 46 in Benton Harbor, 47 and mostly cloudy in St. Joseph, 48 degrees in South Haven, and that's the real temperature, but the feels like could be lower than that, so you might want to wear a coat. I wore a coat today.
I did too.
Did you?
Yeah.
I wore a raincoat.
Oh, I did do that.
You didn't do that. It is the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Got with me today Mike Weibel. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we have a whole lot of news to talk about. We've covered politics already, so we got that out of the way.
A little something weird though is
Yeah,
as we're talking, I just opened up Facebook and there I am.
Oh, look at you.
You and I are right there, and I'm talking, and then I'm talking.
I like it. Just don't turn up the sound.
No.
Yeah. But no, that and that's a great reminder. It's a great
isn't it?
reminder. If you want to see the
Little
video,
segue.
the video live stream, you can always tune into Facebook or YouTube, type in WSJM and pull up our live video feed.
I'm looking at myself.
Do you know what
pointing
you're
at
going to
my
say? Is
phone.
that happening before this?
It's a little delay.
Oh, boy.
Slightly delayed.
Speaking of slightly delayed, we just heard a little bit about, and the national news picked this up. I first saw it on Wall Street Journal over the weekend, but there was a mysterious fleet of drones.
What?
Did you hear about this? That
No.
entered restricted airspace in the United States and apparently swarmed a U.S. military base along the Virginia coast for 17 days.
What?
17 days late last year. We're just now, remember the delay?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the delayed story coming out of the Pentagon. They said 17 days late last year, there was a mysterious fleet of drones that swarmed a U.S. military base, and the Pentagon is still stumped about it. That's what a new report has revealed.
Oh, boy.
For several nights last December, almost a year ago, U.S. military personnel reported witnessing a fleet of unknown unmanned aircraft that breached restricted airspace over a stretch of land at Langley Air Force Base along Virginia's shoreline. Isn't that the one right across the river from Washington, D.C.?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look it up. But I think that's it.
So out of all the money that we spend in defense
On national defense, yep.
we can't figure out where those drones came from.
Well, I mean, can't we take one down?
You would think.
Don't we have one of those cool looking shotguns with the nets that just...
Well, they got the ones now that shoot like an electric little EVP thing and knock them down.
Oh, the
Chinese,
electromagnetic
Chinese
pulse thing?
government does that at sporting events. Seriously.
Do they really?
Yeah, they have them, and then somebody flies a drone over, they basically disable it and drop it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And
That's
there's a
like
company-
James Bond type stuff.
Yeah, and then there's a company that I saw when they talked about the first assassination attempt, company that makes this thing that sits on a trailer that basically will take down drones within like a circular area.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. I mean, especially if you got like a Taylor Swift concert or something like that.
Right.
You don't want somebody bootlegging the video.
No. Necessary. Not because
Got to make the money.
She's the most.
I don't
She's
know.
the wealthiest female artist right now.
Could be.
Over $1 billion.
She probably could afford a lot of drones. But
sure.
The drones that we're talking about in Virginia, though, would start to arrive about 45 minutes to an hour after sunset each night. We're talking about 17 different days that they did this. One official reportedly told U.S. Air Force General Mark Kelly that they have some of the country's most advanced weaponry there. And they were just going around into the restricted airspace.
Yeah.
Kelly described the first drone he saw as roughly 20 feet long. That's a big drone. Now we're talking about a big drone. And flying at more than 100 miles per hour. So now we're not talking about the hobby drones. We're talking
that's
about
what I'm thinking is those little,
Tho-
little shoe boxes flying around.
They were
but-
flying at an altitude of roughly 3,000 to 4,000 feet. Now, just for comparison, I mean, if you think about a football field, that's 900 feet.
Right.
Right. And so if you stand that up, and then you stand that up a few
Again.
times, then you've got 3,000 to 4,000 feet. As many as a dozen or more drones followed, flying across Chesapeake Bay and then traveling toward Norfolk, Virginia, through a space overlooking the base for the Navy SEALs Team 6 and the Naval Station Norfolk, the world's largest naval port. The report also said officials could not determine if hobbyists, who has a hobby drone that's a drone that's 20 feet
This thing
long.
just stinks. It just stinks. There's just
They
something
said
amiss.
the report said officials could not determine if hobbyists or adversaries, such as China or Russia, were responsible for the drone fleet. Reports on the matter.
I don't believe it.
Reports on the matter reached President Biden. Well, I would hope they would, and resulted in 2 weeks of meetings at the White House in December of 2023.
Oh boy.
2 weeks of meetings.
Okay, we got drones flying over. What should we do? Let's do some meetings.
Those meetings included the Defense Department, the FBI, and the Pentagon's UFO office. UFO, unidentified flying objects,
Yeah.
which I thought they renamed those things into
AEPs now.
yeah,
or
something like that.
something.
Isn't that our power company?
Yeah.
As well as outside experts. 2 months before the drone fleet emerged in Virginia, 5 mysterious drones reportedly breached restricted airspace over a government nuclear weapons experiment site in Nevada. 4 of the drones were detected by the Energy Department security team outside Las Vegas. The 5th was spotted by employees. The facility has reportedly since upgraded its detection system, but officials have not determined who was behind the breach.
Unbelievable.
That's just a weird story.
It is just. There's got to be way more there than.
I mean, essentially, if we're to take it at face value, what the government's not telling us is probably we were under surveillance again.
Right.
Very close, up close and personal.
But a 20-foot drone.
And we probably do the same thing to them.
Oh, sure. But a 20-foot drone and you can't tell where it went?
I mean, the last time I checked Amazon, we were talking about Amazon packages winding up in your mailbox.
Yeah.
I don't think that would fit in my mailbox.
No.
I don't think Amazon would deliver to me a 20-foot drone.
No. So that kind of knocks out the amateur drone.
I'm thinking.
Right.
Yeah. Hobby.com is not selling me a 20-foot drone.
Some guy flying a 20-foot drone over an Air Force base on his iPhone.
I'm just making it in my backyard with fiberglass and a couple of Briggs & Stratton engines, lawnmower engines, and I'm it's going around.
My grass is 2 foot high, but I got a 20-foot drone.
And then I put AI in it with my Commodore 64. I've got my Commodore 64 computer in it.
Yeah, Texas Instrument.
I'm using AI to say, go find a government installation and fly through their restricted airspace for a couple hours.
Hot wired my Pong console.
Meanwhile, in other space news, SpaceX pulled off its boldest test flight yet of the enormous Starship rocket on yesterday, catching the return booster back at the launch pad with what's described as metal chopsticks. So here, the rocket goes up, and then it's coming back down in a controlled descent.
Yeah.
And at the launch pad, so that much precision, and then it's got these metal tongs that basically and grab the rocket midair.
It's crazy.
And it did it successfully. This is really cool.
It is.
Yeah, so Elon Musk doing this, it's a 400-foot spacecraft. It's not a 20-foot drone. It's a 400-foot spacecraft. We contacted the Defense Department to ask them, do you know whose it is?
Exactly.
And they said no.
Yeah.
No.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Elon has it, but we don't know.
It might be Elon's, but we're not sure.
Right.
The 400-foot spacecraft blasted off at sunrise from close to the Mexico border before successfully landing on a pad with mechanical arms for the first time. It arced over the Gulf of Mexico, like the 4 starships before it that ended up being destroyed because they were experiments and they weren't working right.
Mm-hmm.
The last one in June was the most successful yet, completing its flight without exploding. But even in this day and age, one of the observers said, what we saw is just magic. I'm shaking right now because the tower caught the rocket. That's really cool.
It is. I heard something that the government has ordered 2 rockets from Elon for flying astronauts back and forth from the moon. Seriously.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. I'm laughing because they ordered some from Boeing and they made half the trip.
Right.
We got the people up there.
which I'm assuming they got like a 50% off rain check.
Do you think they? I bet they didn't.
Well,
I bet they didn't.
I
bet
think it'd be worth arguing.
I
They
would
should
like-
have 2 weeks of meetings for it.
Well, the government would probably be like, well, we could ask for a refund, but who would do the asking?
Right. Exactly. Not it.
Yeah. So congratulations to SpaceX. SpaceX said both the booster and the launch tower had to be in good, stable condition. Otherwise, it was going to end up in the Gulf like the previous ones. Everything was judged to be ready for the catch. So they said everything worked just right. And so that's really good. I don't know. I mean, this is all in his quest, Elon Musk's quest to get people ready to go to Mars.
Right.
So the reusable rocket, apparently, good part of that. And I imagine it can't hurt profit bottom lines as well.
Oh, well.
If you're going to be sending satellites up into
Well, now that you're selling rockets to the government. Because,
right.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good thing. One other thing that I did want to talk about related to motor vehicles, we can get the rockets to get caught and reused. But National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has issued multiple recalls for our automobiles that we can't get right, including notices for almost 1.7 million Hondas over a sticky steering issue.
Sticky steering.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's just rolling through some of the. So the Honda had that one. I think we covered that a little bit last week. So Honda owners, look for the recall notice in the mail or check
sticky steering.
Check with your dealership for that. That's a safety hazard. Volvo is recalling about 2,000 of its vehicles from 2022 to 2024. They said in a NHTSA report, when the controller area network communications are interrupted and the vehicle is in limp mode. Limp mode.
I didn't know that was a mode.
It's a mode in Volvo. An incorrect accelerator pedal signal can result in unintended acceleration, which obviously can increase the risk of a crash.
Yeah, yeah.
So
really surprising move in your limp mode.
That is a software update that Volvo owners will have to seek out. Volkswagen is recalling some of their cars for a battery that may short circuit. Yeah. Volkswagen is recalling 6,500 of their 2022 to 2024 Audi e-tron GTs and the RS e-tron GT vehicles. So Volkswagen recalling their Audi vehicles 2022 to 2024, some certain models for the high voltage battery may experience a short circuit within the battery module that could cause a fire.
We made the cars, but we did not make the batteries.
It wasn't our problem. We didn't do it. BMW has a faulty brake system. They're recalling 11,579 of their vehicles. NHTSA report says that the integrated brake system may malfunction and result in the loss of power brake assist or cause the anti-lock brake and dynamic stability control systems not to function properly. So, oh, and here's one for you Porsche owners.
And there's more.
And there's more for Porsche owners. Porsche is recalling 27,527 of its 2021 to 2024 Taycan vehicles. What's the Taycan? Which one is that? Is that the sedan?
Yeah.
Okay.
The SUV kind of thing.
No, that's the Cayenne.
Oh.
That's the Cayenne. The Cayenne is their mini SUV. I imagine the Taycan. Here, look it up real quick. Taycan. The automobile manufacturer said in its NHTSA report the high voltage battery may experience a short circuit within that battery module, and which also includes a higher risk of fire. So same thing.
Oh, it's their four-door sedan.
Well, that's what I said.
I know. I'm agreeing with you.
So the four-door sedan. For those of you who drive, for all one of you in the greater Southwest Michigan area driving the Porsche sedan.
Four-door Porsche sedan, which I don't get. I really don't get.
The four-door Porsche?
Yeah.
I don't get that
I've
either.
seen them, and I don't. Why would?
Does Ferrari have a? I guess they probably have a four-door sedan somewhere.
Somewhere.
At least they have two-door sedans.
So it's $100,000, $99,400.
Does Bugatti have a four-door sedan? How much is it?
$100,000.
Oh, it's got to be more than that. That's probably without options.
MSRP. Well, yeah, no floor mats, but still $100,000.
All right, we're just jealous. We're jealous that we can't get a four-door Porsche sedan. Because why wouldn't you take a car known for its handling and stability and engine rev and everything else and turn it into a sedan?
So this is their electric version.
Ooh.
That's why it's
big deal because of the battery.
Right.
All right. So anyway, bottom line is if you have a car, you might want to check to see if it's been recalled.
Yes, because there's a good chance that it has.
A lot of recalls in the last couple of years.
So do you think it's because we have greater technology / liability, and so they just go ahead and throw this out versus like 25 years ago where they're like, yeah, that Pinto's not going to blow up.
You know, I think it's a mix of a number of things. Number one, we're more aware. We as consumers demand more information to know what's gonna happen.
Unless you're flying a drone.
And exactly, unless you're a 20-foot drone pilot or
Right.
something like that. But no, I mean, we demand more accountability, and we have more means to make our voices heard through social media.
Well said.
And so if 20 people have the same problem and you throw it up on X, Twitter, whatever, or Facebook, all of a sudden you get a lot more visibility, and people start paying more attention and say, oh, I had that same fire happen, take my car, burn it down or whatever. And so then NHTSA is on guard to say, oh, we're seeing a lot of reports of this. We're going to talk to the car company. Hey, we're hearing a lot of reports of this. What do you know? Car company says, we know nothing.
Right.
Until we do, and then we'll recall it.
We know nothing. We see nothing.
At 7:30. It's the WSJM morning show. We're off the rails this morning. We've got the Bloomberg Market Minute coming up.
Crazy train.
So, you want a free checking account that pays you a high rate on your balance? Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Oh, look at that. See, watch. We've got a TV monitor in
Looks
here.
like a chimney coming down.
It does look like a chimney, and it looks like it's having a chimney fire. But yeah, there. The metal tongs. We're talking about the rocket that Elon Musk brought back down. Yeah, you've seen that video. It's just fantastic. And then there's a crowd of 20-year-olds
Right.
cheering on
Just going
because
nuts.
they were able to do the technology that we've been trying for many, many years to get right. Or have we? Maybe we haven't. All right.
That's crazy.
Let's check in on the video live stream comments. Let's see. Teresa says, good morning, guys. Good morning, Teresa.
Good morning.
Teresa says, good morning, Bill. Dollar. Bill Dollar says, good morning, Teresa.
Hey, Bill.
With a big old smiley face. And then let's see. I'm missing a comment there. Oh, John says, top of the morning, everyone. Top of the morning to you, John. Thanks for joining us. Teresa says, good morning, John. John says, good morning, Teresa. And we've done that.
And it's a wrap.
And it's a wrap. No. We've got, let's see. Got a whole lot more to talk about here. Oh, gosh, this was horribly disturbing. Did you see about that person who was posing as a Michigan utility worker?
Yeah. And then
murdered
the guy.
Yeah. So I've talked about this before here. We live in St. Joseph, and St. Joseph, like many other communities, is working to replace water lines all over town, and they handle different sections at different times. And we had somebody come to the door because our street was being worked on, but there were no construction workers on the street at that time. Somebody came to the door in a really tattered reflective vest. They didn't look like anyone who's official. They didn't have an official badge on them or anything like that. Basically knocked on the door and said, hey, can I come in your house and look at your pipes? Like, no, you may not.
Right.
Do you have any ID? Who are you? We don't know who you are. Turns out eventually that person, I think, is legit because he was hanging around the construction site when they were actually doing it the whole time. So it was legit in that case, but didn't have any badge, wasn't communicating well with us.
Right.
And, I think if you're going to send a representative of any project to somebody's residence, especially in this day and age, you probably should be very clear in what it is you're doing and give information on, if you want to check me out, here's who to call.
Right.
But in this case, that didn't happen. A suspect was arrested and charged with murder in connection to a Michigan home invasion in which two men are believed to have gained entry by posing as utility workers. This happened in Oakland County. We'll save this because it's a longer story, but we'll talk about it in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Have you had any experiences like that?
Yeah. So a couple of years back, my son was at home and a guy came to the door in a white van, no markings on it whatsoever, and knocked at the door and said that there was a utility issue and needed to come in and look things over. And he was like, I need to ask my dad. I wasn't home.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, it just takes a minute. And he was like, no. And of course, my son's 6'5", so that helps. But he was like, well, can I go in the backyard and climb up on the pole and look at that?
Gosh.
And he was like, no. and he says, oh, well, can I come back later? And he says, yeah, you can come back later. And he's like, my dad will be home later on. And he was like, okay, fine. Guy never came back again. So he said he was from Comcast. So I called Comcast and said, hey, this guy came by, this is what he said. And they basically came and said, well, we do contract sometimes with independent contractors. And I'm like, but wouldn't they have some type of identification that they're working for Comcast? And they said yes.
Okay.
So there was something not right about that.
Yeah, if it ever doesn't feel right, you should absolutely feel totally empowered to say no.
Correct. And reach out to local law enforcement and let them know.
No offense, but no.
Right.
Yeah. And you're right. Reach out to local law enforcement. We have to get back to the on air, but we'll continue that in just a moment.
Can reportedly expect fewer discounts and promotions. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that under new CEO Brian Niccol, the chain is going to be scaling back on the deals and instead putting a focus on the company's premium coffee items. New record highs on Wall Street to close out last week for both the Dow and the S&P 500. There were gains across the board. The stock market has a regular session today, but the bond market is closed, as are most banks for the Columbus Day holiday. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
See, it's 7:36, and because it's Columbus Day or Indigenous Persons Day, whatever you call it, most banks are closed. Most banks.
I wonder who's open.
I want a list.
Right.
I want a list of who's open. I wonder, like you mentioned, maybe it's credit unions.
Could be.
Yeah. Because they have different rules.
Right.
Do the banks and credit unions always just not get along?
I think so.
They should have like a conference together, just kind of like, let's get together, let's work things out.
Sort of like physicians. Well, I shouldn't say. Well, sort of like physicians.
You said it too late now.
Sort of like physicians that don't feel like chiropractors are legitimate physicians. There's that kind of thing.
There.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. And I know both. And they,
Yeah. Well, I think in both cases, yeah, I get it. Very touchy.
All right. Cracks you up.
Oh, dear. We've gone off the deep end now. It's and in both occupations have helped people greatly.
Oh,
and obviously there are questions about both as well.
Right.
Yeah. 7:37. We've got news from the Michigan News Network. That's coming up in just a moment here. But we should also get to the latest ABC news. Let me make sure that's all queued up and ready to go. Yeah, I think we can do that. And then we'll also talk about your weather forecast and sports.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And taking a look at temperatures outside right now, 45 degrees and mostly cloudy in Benton Harbor, 47, and mostly cloudy in St. Joseph, 48 degrees and cloudy in South Haven right now. We do expect on and off rain showers today, partly due in part to the lake effect rain that we experienced yesterday. We're going to experience it today and again tomorrow. Partly sunny skies, a 50% chance of lake effect rain showers today, high around 53, north winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting to 20. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, a 60% chance of lake effect showers. And then Tuesday, partly cloudy, 40% chance of lake effect rain showers, a high around 55 degrees. Some of the news that we're following in the WSJM newsroom, the South Haven Police Department says there will be no hate crime charges filed after anti-Semitic flyers were left around neighborhoods in the community late last month. We heard from the interim police chief, Patrick Carlotto, who said officers were called to investigate back in September when hate messages were found around the Monroe Boulevard area. They said they hate it, they don't like it, but there's nothing they can do about that because of the free speech protections. So we'll talk more about that coming up at 8 o'clock.
Haven, right?
That was in South Haven. That's
and the
correct.
guy was from Niles.
That is correct.
So what's he got against South Haven?
I don't know.
He's got some issues.
Stay in Niles and pass around your flyers.
Exactly.
So we'll talk about that story coming up at 8 o'clock. Also, other news, the fees to use some of the amenities at Silver Beach County Park are going up, but a little bit, just slightly.
A bump.
Just a bump up for Shadowland and the Dunes Pavilion and some of the other amenities. So we'll talk about that story. And then also there's a poll out recently asking Michiganders, do you think the November elections are going to be conducted fairly and accurately? And according to the poll, a majority of Michiganders think yes, they will be conducted fairly and accurately. So we will talk about that story. There were findings from that poll, the results, coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We have ABC News, then the Michigan News Network.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Another deadly weekend in the Middle East. 4 Palestinians killed, dozens more civilians.
All right. The WSJM morning show. I got to take my dog to the vet tomorrow for his checkup. I'm worried. I'm worried what the doc is going to say.
Oh, yeah, because
he's 12.
Yeah.
He's 12. He has tremors now. Russell, if you're listening, you're a good dog. Good dog.
Good dog.
Good dog.
Why does he have tremors? What's the cause of that?
Am I a veterinarian? Do I look like I'm operating on animals right now?
No, not right now.
I don't know why he has tremors.
I do consider you possibly to be a 20-foot drone pilot in free time, but
I would like to do that. I do have a drone. I have a couple drones. I love my drones. They're a lot of fun.
I continue to look at drones because I just think they'd be
they're a lot of fun.
Right.
You should download some of the drone apps that you have to have. Basically, there's one from DJI. That's one of the primary drone makers. One of my drones is large enough that it has to have Federal Aviation Administration registration because of the recent rule changes. I'm sure the drones that were flying over the military bases were not registered.
Probably not. No,
because otherwise then they'd know who it was. But you should download the apps that give you the kind of the conditions and the airspace that's guarded. So when I lived in Buchanan, you could fly a drone anywhere, anytime. Basically not a real big problem. You're supposed to fly them up to 400 feet. You're never supposed to lose sight of them as you're flying them as a hobbyist.
Okay.
Which can be difficult,
right?
Sure. Because if you go to the range of the drones can go controllably, you're not going to see it anymore. It's just going to be this little speck in the sky.
Right.
So you're supposed to keep an eye on it. Here in St. Joseph, however, you do have to be very cognizant of where those height restrictions go. Most of the area is under like a 200-foot restriction, not the 400-foot restriction because of the airfield out here, Benton Harbor. And then also by the beaches, I think it's still part of that. The thing mine in some areas won't even get like more than 8 feet off the ground because it's so restricted. And I don't know what exactly.
So is it automatically restricted?
Yeah.
So it was, that's a good idea. That way you can't be like, oops.
Right. But there are people who can take the little restrictions the governor's off.
Oh, bootleg them.
They can bootleg them. You didn't know about this Dorito story?
No, I'm
okay
on the edge of my
Clearly, you were not the biggest fan of the WSJM morning show because Brett and I talked about this last week. I showed him the video. I should show you the video. Here, look up the video. Don't play sound of governor feeding Dorito. That'll pull it up. Governor as Whitmer feeding Dorito. But she has so while Mike pulls that up, just background on the story in case you missed it as well, is the governor wanted to be part of a viral, I guess what's a viral TikTok, Facebook Reels, whatever, Instagram things, trend of feeding a chip to somebody else. And she was doing it to promote the CHIPS Act.
Oh boy. Which
the governor is proud of and says will mean for jobs in Michigan. But she fed the chip to an influential podcaster or something like that, and it looked a little bit too much like communion.
Yeah,
and it looked a little bit too much like she was mocking the religious ceremony.
That's not good.
No. And so she has, at first, she said, I'm just celebrating the CHIPS Act. Go fly a kite somewhere. Now she has apologized. She's actually issued an apology.
So how, you did this. How is it?
I didn't feed anyone a chip.
No, but communications to where you'd be like, hey, this is not a good, how did nobody catch that?
The advice on that?
Yeah.
I would not have done that. I would not have advised my principal to engage in that kind of activity for that very reason of it looks too much like you're mocking a religious ceremony.
Right.
And
she's on her knees. It just is, it's not good.
It looks uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has apologized for feeding a Dorito chip to a social media influencer who dropped to her knees after Roman Catholic organizations accused the Democrat politician of insulting their religion by mocking the sacrament of communion. Catholic Church has 7 sacraments. 7.
Count them.
The communion is one of them.
Yeah.
And probably not a good idea to even come close to the line there.
No, it just is a bad. It's just a bad look all the way around.
Yeah.
It just was not. Somebody should have said timeout on that one, but
yeah, I bet our communications person probably said, "Don't do this."
Right.
And she said,
hopefully the communication person was like, no. And then they went ahead and released it, and then they could say, I told you so.
Or better still, she got the call in the middle of the night from the governor. Hey, communications person, this is the governor speaking.
Right.
By the way,
I just releases.
You might see something tomorrow that's going to keep you busy. What are you doing tomorrow?
Did you get those?
Oh yeah.
The surprises?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, one of them had to do with a weekend call. I was traveling. I think I was traveling for the first or second time for a member of Congress I was working as communications director for. I got a call in the middle of the weekend, and they said, "Hey, our person, one of our people in our office, has been arrested and is currently in jail." And I said, "Okay, let's. What were they arrested for? Bouncing a check."
Oh,
they were in the state for the member of Congress I was working for.
Yeah, they don't like it.
If you bounced a check, you could be a warrant could be put out for your arrest, and the police would go and pick you up and take you to jail. And they had done that to our front desk person in the office in the state there, who was the sweetest elderly lady would ever want to meet. And for some reason, the check bounced, and she was arrested and put in jail.
Wow.
So as a communications director, I said, well, let's find out more information first before we say anything. And yeah, the good news is that one ended well, but there were other middle of the night ones too. I mean, what do you do? Transparency. Sunshine cleanses all. Right?
What's the statement? The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off.
Probably.
That's actually a famous quote, but actually was made famous on Ted Lasso.
I love Ted Lasso.
Oh,
I still haven't watched the last season though.
What?
Yeah, I know.
I'm
behind.
I've watched like several times over, and then the Christmas episode is like now a Christmas staple.
Oh, okay. Is it like a special duration length or something?
Same length.
Just same old.
Yeah.
All right.
Gotta watch that one.
Was it like what was the theme? Was it like a Santa Claus, or was it a? Oh, okay. All right. You're not going to tell it.
No.
Okay.
Because I don't want to ruin it. It's going to be a part of your holiday season now.
I will look forward to it. And that's only on Apple TV, right?
Correct.
I was so ticked off this weekend. I was watching a movie sometime over the weekend and then paused it for whatever. And last night I was like, okay, I'm going to fall asleep. I want to watch more of that movie.
And it was gone.
No, it wasn't gone. Although I have a story about that, but it wasn't gone. But the service, I couldn't remember what service it was on, so I had to go through all the services. And then the one that I wanted that was on, it wasn't working on my remote device. It said, "Oh, oops, you've been logged out." And so forget it. I'll just go to sleep. All right, I'll be right back.
Off and on rain showers continuing away from the lakeshore. We'll see some upper 30s. And then for tomorrow, off and on rain showers again, highs at 55. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:48, WSJM Morning Show continues. I promise it does. We have, I'm Ken Lundberg. Mike Weibel is my co-host this morning. We are talking about streaming services and some of the inconveniences. These are really first world problems.
Oh, totally.
But still, it is an annoyance when it happens. But you said, and one of the things, I was trying to watch a movie last night before I fell asleep, and one of my devices gave me the message, "Oh, we know you were watching this movie, but you can no longer watch anything or anything else on our service because you were accidentally logged out. Go ahead and log back in." And it's like, well, I don't have all these passwords on all my different devices or whatever, so I just went to sleep. But you have that problem a lot with which service?
Amazon Prime.
Really?
Yeah.
It signs you out or just says,
yeah, you go to log
you got
in
too many
and what's
devices
your
or something?
password? No, it'd be like, what's your password? And then we need to verify your device.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. And
Do you ever get the QR code where it says scan this code on a different device?
Yes.
Why are they assuming we have 300 devices? Even though we do, but why is it assuming that?
Well, and I've actually called and sat in customer service trying to be like, well, this is ridiculous. And
did you really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like 45 minutes I was on hold, and they were like, sorry. So I'm like, I just am not going to watch Amazon Prime because it just frustrates me.
Do you share your passwords with your kids? You might.
I might.
Don't
I
incriminate
might.
yourself. Don't
I
incriminate
might.
yourself. Yeah.
I might.
One of my boys has been asking for the HBO Max password forever, and I just keep saying no. And he's trying the whole strategy of I can wear him down.
Well, and part of my excuse would be that like the kids were home in high school and then they went away, so they were like had their own logins,
right?
And then they have now grown up and
it doesn't matter where they are,
right?
Okay,
so
you think it's okay?
Well, it is what it is. I don't know that it's okay.
Oh goodness!
And at some point they'll come up with the technology to be able to lock you out, I'm sure. But
yeah. Okay. All right. More on that later. Confessions of a video streamer.
Right.
But it is time for your Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And a story that we posted this morning talking a little bit about the campaign to raise awareness around breast cancer. And October is still National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's an opportunity for people to remind not only others of the importance of routine screening for early detection, but also to remind ourselves.
Right.
Because breast cancer can affect both men and women.
Correct.
It's been predominantly women. And so obviously raising awareness for self-detection, early detection is important. It's also something that can affect men. It's estimated, we looked up the stats on this, it's estimated every 14 seconds, someone around the world is diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
This year in the United States, so far, an estimated 310,720 women diagnosed with breast cancer, making it the most common cancer among American women. And so what's become a big part of every community's breast cancer awareness campaign is visual reminders using the color pink. And so we have a campaign, full disclosure, Midwest Family, it's a campaign to raise awareness through what we call the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. You've heard some of the commercials on the air about it, but it's an annual campaign. It's multimedia. It's across the web, across our video, social media, and everything on the air as well, to drive awareness, encouraging people to wear pink on Fridays as a visual reminder for breast cancer screening. You wore pink last Friday.
I did.
And so new to the campaign this year, we talked with Sensible Heating and Air Conditioning owner Dan Christ. They're based in Coloma, but they serve all the way from New Buffalo to points north in South Haven, etc. And they, the owner of that, Dan Christ, he liked the campaign so much because we gave him a pink shirt to wear for the campaign. He liked the campaign so much, he bought his entire staff pink shirts to wear during the month of October to help raise awareness across the region. Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah. So we write about that, and he has some personal reasons as to why he did that as well. So if you want to read that, go to the moodyonthemarket.com website, and you can see it. There's a big photo of a pink shirt there. Real Men Wear Pink, and so it's what we think is a great cause, and we really appreciate Dan Christ and all the others who were part of that Real Men Wear Pink campaign, because it really does help get the word out there.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it's important.
It is. It's seven.
I heard a figure 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer.
And I don't understand why they can't make the mammograms better.
Yes.
As far as less painful, less, because my understanding is you come back from it, you can be incredibly sore.
I would imagine.
And I mean, part of it is it's because they're smooshing the glands there, and it's just like, oh, come on. Can't we figure out something better for this? Got AI involved. Something.
There you go.
Anyway, all right, the Moody on the Market update. If you want to read that story and a whole lot more, check it out. It's at moodyonthemarket.com. Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We have more to talk about. I don't think I finished the Dorito story.
You didn't.
All right.
Well, you kind of did.
Well, we'll talk about it a little bit more.
I don't know.
Here on the WSJ
confused.
On the morning show. We've got the video live stream going. We'll talk about it right now.
Hi, I'm Jeff Prieb with Prieb's Creative Woodwork.
All right. Let me make sure that we
I saw Jeff Prieb leaving town yesterday.
Oh, okay.
He was flying out of the airport. I saw his plane and I was like, oh my gosh.
Very nice.
It was Jeff.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Do that one. Make sure I have that one and that one and that one. Yeah, we've got these political ads come in, and it's really important to get the political ads played as logged. And so we're doing that.
Okay.
Let's see. What other? Hey, look at that. Oh my goodness. Somebody spilled the beans here. Let's see. John says, good morning, Teresa. Teresa says, I didn't see it either. I will look. Let's see. Just saw the video. Oh, yeah. Talking about the, I think the rocket.
Oh, the rocket.
And the Dorito. And they said the video was bad. Yeah. Evan Ludeman, one of my great childhood friends, says, great show today. Enjoy. And your birthday's this week. Enjoy your birthday.
Oh, your birthday?
My birthday is this week. And Teresa says, happy birthday. Thank you,
Happy
Teresa.
birthday.
Thank you, Evan, for spilling the beans on that.
How old are you going to be?
I will never answer that question.
Come
Diane
on.
Knox says,
right,
whoever has a birthday, I hope you have a great day.
How
So
old
thank
is
you.
Ken Lundberg? Siri?
Teresa, mine is in 3 weeks. Oh, Teresa, happy early birthday. And then Evan says Ken's birthday is this week. Thank you, Evan.
Evan,
Thank you,
how
Evan.
old is he going to be?
Yeah,
Evan,
do not
bring it, Evan. Bring
do
it.
not release that information. Thank you very much. Let's see, 7:55. I really haven't thought through the principle of why I don't reveal how old I am, but I
Yeah.
just don't.
This is
It's like asking somebody
a
how much
man of
money they
mystery.
make, right?
You're just a man of mystery.
I don't know. That's for others to decide.
Oh, look at there.
But the Dorito thing, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. And I am noticing more gray hair, if that's a hint.
No, that's not a hint. Look at me.
Is your hair gray? It looks white.
It's white now. but
Okay. Was it always this color?
I don't dye it.
Was it always this color? What hair, when you were playing basketball in the
Yes.
famous photo that we have not yet seen between you and Brett Witkowski, what color was your hair in that? Because we can't see. It's a black and white photo.
Right.
What color was your hair?
The same as yours is right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get hit by lightning?
No.
Okay.
No, just
I mean, that just happens to some people. My father, God rest his soul, my father at some point had a white shock of hair just right here.
oh
The
yeah, I've
rest of
seen
it,
that. Yeah.
natural color.
Yeah.
That, a shock of white hair. He looked distinguished,
Yes.
but I always wondered, am I going to get that same shock of hair at some point?
I wonder what causes that.
You know, I don't know if it
'Cause
was
I've known a
a
couple
stroke or
people
something like
have
that.
had that.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. What are you looking at?
Well, I was looking at trying to find your birthday, and I found a couple of obituaries for
Oh,
Ken Lundberg,
dear Lord.
and that's not you.
I found, I did a search the other day because I was looking for something in particular, and another Ken Lundberg showed up, and this person was running for judge in Texas.
I see that.
Yeah, and he was all over social media, but apparently he lost his primary.
Oh,
Yeah, so there's not going to be a judge Ken Lundberg. Can you imagine? I would go to that town
yeah.
and just say, Ken Lundberg here.
Right. Hi, I'm Ken Lundberg. Guilty.
Teresa says, I won't tell you guys how old I will be either. Good. You want to keep it to yourself? You keep it to yourself.
I'm going to find out somehow.
That's right. Privacy is a right. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and privacy.
Evan, go on Facebook and send it to me. Mike Weibel on Facebook.
Oh, my goodness.
WYBLE.
2 minutes until 8 o'clock.
Hey, we have our Social Security seminar coming up tomorrow.
Do ya?
Yeah, webinar.
Oh,
Remember?
I do. I
5
do.
o'clock.
Hang on 1 second. I got to time this out, and then we will have an opportunity to talk about that. Okay. Quickly, go.
Go. So tomorrow at 5 o'clock, we have a webinar called Social Security and You. It's one of our senior financial planners that's going to be conducting it for Baird Private Wealth Management. You go to our webpage at stjoseph.bairdwealth, BAIRD wealth.com to get the registration. And we'd love to have you.
Oh, very nice.
Could be very informative, some Q&A at the end. And we are hosting, so it'll be good.
So
We're excited.
We've got to get back on the air here.
Let's do it.
If you want more information about that, how can they get it?
They can call our office, 983-7500, or go to Facebook.
Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
All right, it's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. 7:59, just a minute before 8 o'clock. Thank you to those of you joining us on the video live stream, and thank you for respecting my privacy as Mike Weibel tries to pry secrets out of the vault.
Evan,
do not
send
do
me
it.
the number.
I was talking about oysters to begin the hour.
You did.
Because Stephanie was so kind to treat us to oysters this on Friday.
That's an amazing thing to do.
Live oysters showed up on the front
It sounds
porch.
like kind of a charcuterie board too with it.
Well, she
Cheesy.
made one. She made one with cheese and crackers. Triscuits, which I never thought I would like Triscuits. Hang on, we've got to get to the top of the hour news. Forecast for today, partly sunny skies, a 50% chance of lake effect rain showers, high around 53 degrees. Right now, we've got ABC News, and then we'll have our local news next from our WSJM newsroom.
From ABC News.
Okay, and in case anybody wanted to know, as you go back and watch this video live stream, Real Oyster Cult.
What a great name.
Real Oyster Cult.
Hats off to that.
Is what to know. Hats off to Stephanie, because she was
that
amazing.
was awesome. But I mean, what a great name for a company.
Yeah.
Real Oyster Cult.
And they're totally cheeky about it too.
Yeah.
So it's really funny. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on the video live stream. We will be back tomorrow. I've got candidate interviews at least a couple of days this week. I think we're going to be talking with candidates for Berrien County Commissioner. Rayonte Bell and Mary Brown will be in this week.
Okay.
And then we've got some other things. I'll have to check the schedule, make sure they came through. Right here on WSJM, you can always see the video live stream from 7 to 8.
Mhm.
Mike Weibel joins us on Monday mornings. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having
And
me.
we'll see you again on Friday.
Yes,
and
you
we'll talk
will.
about some financial things.
Yes, we will.
All right. We'll talk soon. Thank
We'll
you.
talk about your birthday. How
Yeah,
would you-
right.